Hello, welcome back to Gas Buto Tabletop Football at approximately 7:30 in the morning. Yes, very early. So just popped across here. Let me have a sup of tea. Oh, that's only my second cup of tea of the day. Not quite finished it yet. Because I'm going to do something a bit different here. This really is a bit of technical Subbuteo talk. Now, I've obviously got the Derby Day match later on. Just 10 minutes ago, I was on BBC Radio Bristol with Steve Toye, talking to James Hanson, the breakfast DJ there, about the match that we've got going later on. And I thought, whilst I was over here, I would have a bit of a practice. Now, it's all very well and good taking your ball and, laying up some players and then having a shot on goal, missed, hit the post. And that is good practice, but in a live game, the ball is moving about. Now, as a solo player, obviously the ball is always static because I'll finish one flick and then I've got to move around to go on to the next one. But in a live game, it's moving about. You've seen the tournament games. You may have seen, there wasn't a lot of footage of me playing in the tournament game, but there were some of the games that I've put on either YouTube or TikTok. And what you've got to consider that there's another player who's going to be doing defensive flicks at the same time. And to some degree, you have to move around at a relative speed. Now, one of the practice things I did some time ago was flicking the ball onto the pitch from here, and then getting your hand to another player to flick that to score it in. And the greatest attempt I ever made at that, I luckily recorded it and I put it on the TikTok thing that's pinned on my TikTok channel. So if you ever go on TikTok, you can have a look at that and you can see what happened. I basically flicked a player, hit the ball landed about there in a pitch, and then as it was travelling over there, I moved my hand over here, flicked this one, knocked it in. Now that's, if you're a professional player, you do that all the time. If you're a bit of an amateur like me, you got to think about that because you've got to be quick. So that's what I'm going to practice here today, and we're going to film it and see how awful or good it is. I've got a feeling it's going to be fairly awful. Now, I've put a few opposing players on the pitch, so let's put a little defensive line of 4, a couple of sort of midfielders knocking around in the way, and then I want my players that are going to effectively storm in and try and score the goal. I want them in reach for this practice. Effectively, it's a little bit of touch and pass sort of go. So, 4 players, 4 balls. Shall we give this a go? I'm a little bit nervous about this for some reason. That midfielder's going to go anyway. So, also, I could here just go 1 and try and hit it with 1, but in the time that you've got to move from one flicking position to the other, you've really got to think about which player is going to be the best one for the job. Anyway, let's just give it a go and then we'll see how we get on. So, if I move there and then you can see the sort of speed that we've got to go at. So let's take him out of the way. In fact, I will leave that guy on there and then it will give me more options. So this one, get him out of the way. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be any successes here, but, this is all practice, you see. No chance I was going to get that, so I was a bit heavy-handed with that one. Let's try I think that's quite a lot of my problem when I play Subbuteo. I'm quite sort of heavy-handed with things. Not too good at the little gentle shots like that. Oh, look at that. And that's what I'm talking about. So you've got to gently push the ball forward and then get to a player in time where you can do a power shot to get it in the goal. Now let's try another one. This is going to be a little pass across. See, I well overpowered that one then. Let's try again. Try again. And sort of there. So that's the idea. So I think I'll have a bit of a practice of that. Let's have a few more goes actually. In fact, let's clear those opposing team players out of the way and I'll try and recreate what I did on that video. So with the video that I'm talking about, you may not have seen it. You will see what's happening here. Effectively, I'm going to flick the ball, it's going to roll forward, and then I want to hit it. Now, there is a bit of an aid that can help you in this, and it's rather obvious, staring you in the face. The pitch has lines on it. So once you flick the ball across, and I'll just flick this one for the minute, you can see when it's going to reach one of the lines in front of the goal, and effectively, all you have to do is hit the ball at the right angle, and it should go in at the right time, at the right place. Yeah, got that? See what I mean? So we'll try that a few times. So let's see if we can do it. That was too soft a flick. That was a miss. Let's come back. It's almost like he's running on. That was well too overpowered. No excuses, but my it's quite cool in here this morning. Ooh, see, I chipped that one. Now, what I did with that's actually an interesting little thing. You see, the player jumped. Now, I know exactly why that was. As I flicked it, I put my flick too deep into the pitch. So rather than a nice clean strike like that, which would propel the figure along, what happened is my finger hit the pitch first, and then that obviously didn't connect correctly, so the player tipped over and jumped up. That's a bit of an issue if you're a bit heavy-handed. Now that was quite a slow connection, but that's generally the idea of what we're trying to do. So let's try that again. That is again a slow one, come on. Oh, I've lost a Rovers player on the floor. Thankfully the carpet protects it now, I've just got to make sure I don't stand on it. Let's grab him. Oh, blimey. Bit early in the morning for bending down. That was a nice little slice touch, but not enough power on it. So you've really got to remember, and believe me, I do appreciate it's difficult, as soon as the ball gets anywhere near that line, that's when your firing shot from your second player is. Again, I probably left it a bit late then. Got a little collection of Rovers players going on here. We'll keep going. So, should get my targeting on cue before I start trying to do passing. Right, gentle, and then, oh, nearly. So again, gentle. No, that's too powered. Gentle. Hit the ball, but too much of a delicate slice that time. So gentle flick. Hit the ball, but at the wrong angle. Come on, let's get one in. Let's get one in. Come on. Let's spread the player out. Again, miss flick. Touched the ball, but went the wrong side. If you're worrying about, God, hurting me back this. If you're worrying about how you hit the ball, there's a lot of parallels, I think, between playing Subbuteo and playing pool. I mean, how you hit the ball, effectively the direction you can put can affect the ball, much like it does in pool. And as a demonstration of that, let's have 3 just flicks on this ball. So if you hit it straight on, obviously the ball's going to go straight on. If you hit it so the left-hand side of the figure hits the right-hand side of the ball, obviously it's going to go in that direction. And if you do it the other way around, bear in mind that some of us have 2 lefts. Left and other left. Too gentle. I think I need to finish that cup of tea before I do anything else. So that was a nice little contact, but obviously went the wrong way. Come on, let's get one in. Let's do it. Practice, mates. Practice, mates. More chance of getting lucky. Oh, see, that could have been a good one. The ball actually slowed down on the line in front of the goal. So that was a nice touch to start with. That's too overpowered. That could have gone in. Well, this must be a riveting watch for you. Yes! Finally a goal. So that's what we're talking about, passing from one player to the next. And hopefully that will pay off for me today. Getting used to these figures. They are, as I've mentioned many times before, slightly heavier for flicking around, and they've got that ability that if you get underneath them, you can actually spin them. There used to be, as well, let's get a couple of ball boys. There is, the old curling practice. So if you get a line with points on, put an object in the middle, try and curl the player or spin the player round to... Oh, look at that, skills, man. And that's why I like using these, because these, although these are very heavyweight base, they have got a combination. The weight keeps them quite flat on the ground, so they can be quite accurate. But also you've got a bit of a curve on the side, which enables you to do those little gentle spin rounds if you can get under it. Right, anyway, so that's what I'm going to do later today. But first off, I'm going to go back to the house, finish my cup of tea, have a little nap, and then prepare myself for the derby match later on. Bristol Rovers versus Bristol City. Let's see how we get on. Up the gas.